Last Friday's crypto crash was savage. One for the record books, literally the biggest liquidation of all times. From wick to wick, 880 billion erased from the total crypto market cap. Obviously, total value, that was 21% of the entire market dip in the entire day. As I'm sure you know, the leverage flush out last Friday was absolutely insane. $19.3 billion lost. Liquidated, gone. Now, this video is not a recap of the whats and whys from last week, but rather the one and only question that I want to explore in today's video is how long can we reasonably expect it to take for our markets to fully recover? And no, I'm not, and this is the start of the bear market camp. Maybe I'll be exactly wrong, but I don't believe that, okay? I want to turn back the clock though, look at crypto's prior major liquidity flushes and see how the markets responded afterwards. And then we use that information to project where we might go with our current market and within what time frame. So that's the game plan. Let's get into it. Starting with the second biggest liquidation event in all crypto history, the May 2021 crash that wiped out $8.5 billion in leverage. So that was the China dump. China was banning crypto or some shit for the 100th time, and everybody lost their minds and dumped the shit out of the market. That's this period here on the chart. Now, the big crash happened on Wednesday, May 19th. On that day alone, crypto's total market cap dropped by 41%. Percentage-wise, bigger than the last one, okay? There's more leverage money in the system now, so the total value lost this last week was bigger, but this is a bigger percentage-wise crash. Just something to keep in perspective here as we're still licking our wounds for what happened last week. Percentage-wise, it was actually not as bad, even though some altcoins basically went to zero. Anyway, it took 3 months for crypto's total market cap to fully recover from this crash and to hit new highs later in the year. Next is the May 2022 Terra collapse, when about $5 billion in leverage got wiped out. This is a near bottom for the bear market. Had the FTX collapse not happened later, probably would have been pretty close to the bear market bottom. Who doesn't remember this shit? I remember. That was great. Super stressful. Had a lot of money in USD. Thankfully, I didn't lose that much, but still lost. So we're talking about this area on the timeline here, and specifically this crash happened over the course of about 1 week, where the total market cap dropped by about 40% as $723 billion got erased. Total recovery time was just under 2 years. It's middle of the bear market, essentially, or start of the bear market, we could say. Well, bear market's already on their way, but definitely a giant kick in the balls for the bear market. Next is the March 2020 COVID crash. We got 3.8 billion in leverage value wiped out. Here's the general area on the chart, and the specific price action saw a 51% reduction in crypto's total market cap over a 2-day period, with $113 billion in market cap being lost. Okay, those basically already pretty rough market conditions, and that just made it dramatically worse. We did fully recover though within 48 days. Then finally, we've got the November 2022 FTX collapse. Who could forget that good time? $3 billion is wiped from the leverage market, and this was already deep into the bear market. It was kind of the final kick in the balls for the bear market. This basically bottomed us that week or the week after. This is the general area on the chart, and specifically crypto's total market cap dropped by 25%, with $257 billion in market cap getting erased. Time to full recovery is 2.5 months. Again, that was basically the bottom of the bear market. So there you have it. 3 of the last 4 largest crashes in crypto's history saw full recoveries within 1.5 to 3 months, with one taking 2 years to see a full recovery, because again, that was basically near the bottom of the bear market. Now, here's the zoomed out perspective and everything we just went through. So after thinking about all of this for a bit, here's my takeaway conclusions. But before we get into that, what it means moving forward in this market, I got a question for you. Will you continue trading on crypto exchanges that don't reward you, or will you upgrade now to the OG exchange that puts money back in your pocket? That place is FMX. FMX delivers everything that serious traders want. They got the deep liquidity. They got fast execution, worldwide availability, meaning available to anyone, anywhere. You might need a VPN in some cases. I've literally been trading on FMX for years. And there's never been a better time to join because the rewards are absolutely insane. For a limited time, when you make your first deposit of $5,000 or more, you're gonna get $1,000 cash back. That's a crazy deal. Put in $5K, get $1,000 back. One of the most crazy offers I've seen in crypto in a long time. It doesn't stop there. This month, new and existing users who sign up using my link right down here, you can earn up to 1 Ethereum in rewards. That's worth around $4,000, depending on what the price is when you're watching this video. So will you take advantage of this rare opportunity and get these insane bonuses? Link down below. Go check it out. Your capital deserves better. So let's get back into this. Guys, listen to what I'm about to say here very carefully. If we are in a new extended cycle, which I think we probably are, most of the evidence points that way, everything's set up on the macro front for markets to continue way higher for way longer, then history says we should have a full recovery at latest within about the next 90 days. However, if we're still under the traditional 4-year cycle, blah, 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 for whatever reason, then what we just experienced, well, that would be the best catalyst to kick off the next multi-year bear market, and it's going to be down only down from here for the next year, year and a half, 2 years. Because the larger cycle timing is somewhat similar to what happened with, let's say, a Terra crash, which helped to start the 2022 bear market, or in other words, we just kind of experienced this sort of systemic risk event and people are shaken. But also we experienced that in 2020 and then markets ripped higher for a dramatically longer time as macro conditions change, which is exactly what's happening right now with interest rates being cut, more liquidity being put in the system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or is what we just experienced some kind of early warning test to give us an idea about the bigger question that we're all really wrestling with right now? Is the 4-year cycle still in any way a meaningful, valid way to look at cryptocurrency markets with the institutional adoption that's going on? Or are we in an extended cycle due to the macro conditions being essentially delayed and the macro cooling time being longer than before, so the macro pumping time has taken longer to happen? 1.5 years after our last Bitcoin halving, markets are relatively muted. Now, if we get full recovery within the next 90 days or less, that's pretty good evidence for me that we are in a completely different cycle because the market still has the power to make such solid recovery. But at this point in the calendar year, it's very important. Q4 is usually bullish. We usually have a green October. In fact, we've always had a green October when we've had a green September, and we had a green September. But conversely, if the forces have been creating this 4-year cycle in the past can somehow remain dominant, then I think it's unlikely that the market will have much gas left in the tank to even stage a full recovery, given, again, that we're within the calendar year of when markets could top. The 524-day mark or whatever was early October. A week ago, markets should have topped forever, if the 4-year cyclists are correct, right? That's how I'm thinking about this right now. Now let me simplify it further and make it even more concrete. If we can retake and hold the $4.13 trillion crypto total market cap within the next 90 days or less, we are in an extended cycle, and that's going to be our evidence for that. And the game has really changed. And 2026 will probably be an absolutely insane year for making wealth in crypto and in stocks as well. Come on, crypto's some kind of lame, stocks pretty cool, right? But if we can't and we start putting in lower highs and lower lows, then we'll need to discuss the possibility that the next extended, disgusting, chilling bear market could be coming soon. It's really that simple. Now, of course, only you can decide for yourself which it might be, but obviously the price action from now through the rest of the quarter will be very telling and consequential. The problem is, by the time we have deep confirmations of a bear market, you're already going to be screwed. And by the time we already have deep confirmation of a major market reversal, if you didn't deploy and you sold or you're sidelined, you're screwed too. Flip a coin, good luck. So you want to follow all this very closely. But for the record, here is my take, my stance, my opinion. Okay, and my opinion is absolutely not based on what anyone else out there is saying. I'm here to tell you what I think. Okay, what comes from me and my research team only. All of us are heavily invested in Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay. So we do have bias when it comes to that. But here's what I think is going to happen. There's a reason why I remain invested in the market. We go higher from here. And too bad if you don't like hearing that. I know there's a lot of trauma from last week, but it's what I think will happen. The trade shit will get resolved because it always gets resolved, okay? I put my money where my mouth is. I have a significant amount of my net worth in crypto for loads of reasons, because I don't think we have topped yet. Too much on the macro scene is saying we are far from topping. And we are probably in a new and extended cycle. So therefore, based on historical data, I'm expecting a full recovery from last week's crash within the next 90 days. Might take 20, 30 days, might take 60, 90 days, but within that time frame, these kind of massive leverage crashes, these technical crashes based on huge leverage flushes tend to reverse rather quickly because the macro conditions have not fundamentally changed. A trade deal will be made between China and the USA because they have to do it. They both depend on it. Interest rates are being cut. Global M2 is still pumping. Credit markets look good. AI CapEx is insane. All that kind of stuff works in our favor. Now, can there be corrections along the way? Sure. But I think 2026 is going to surprise a lot of people to the upside. Thanks for watching.